Speaking of that stuff, though, have you guys all read about Paqueta today? He has been charged. So that's he's moved to Manchester City off. That is absolutely done. But he has been charged with 4 counts of spot fixing on himself to get yellow cards in games. This is akin to sort of match fixing and changing the course of games. I was reading up about this today. There's a player at the lower levels in the UK who did this. And for 1 count of this, he got a 10-year ban. Paqueta has been charged with 4 counts. So there is the potential, depending on how deep this goes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He will never play again.
Very, very severe, because this is different to what Ivan Toney did. Ivan Toney bet essentially on him and his team to win. So you should always want your team to win, right? You should always want your players to win. So you're not really changing the course of the game. He is betting on himself to pick up yellow cards. You get yellow cards in the 30th minute. That changes your game as a football player because you can't tackle in the same way, all sorts of things. So this is akin to match fixing to a certain degree. Not the entire match, but it's called spot fixing. This carries a big, big ban if you are found guilty. There are examples up to 10 years for 1 count in the UK. So depending on how deep this goes, he could be absolutely finished.
Do you know what? Yeah, greed is one of the biggest and worst.
How do you even get caught?
Man, he's so greedy, so greedy. The fact that you get paid that much money every week to play football and so on, and then he's out here betting on himself to get yellow cards. I saw Henry sent me the challenge he made. Like he's absolutely lost.
He sprints like 10 yards and just completely clatters him
from
what
behind.
Are you doing?
And no, honestly, I think this is so bad. I think any punishment he gets should be very severe. They need to set.
I don't think he'll ever play again. If it's severe as it goes, and if there's 4, accounts, Man City are already in as much alleged trouble as you could get. I think they've had I think they've seen that and woken up today. I mean, if you're West Ham though, and that's your star player or one of your star players, you got to be kicking yourself. I mean, there's an £80 million player right there.
That's
in
gone.
The market.
It's an asset gone.
And what's actually crazy was he almost signed for City last summer. And then that's when the reports came out, or that's the first time that I saw it. And then that's how they ended up going to go get Nunez from Wolves, because they ended up not signing him. I just think that's actually crazy. Like, somebody at the FA absolutely hates Lucas Paqueta, because even I was like doing videos on my channel, and I was saying, well, like, where's the reports been of like the updates? I'm like, is he guilty or not? I didn't hear anything for months.
Maybe it's over doing their research.
Well, it was being investigated. So it was being investigated, and you asked earlier, well, how do they find out? So essentially, in the betting community, that was in the companies, they have really sophisticated algorithms, and it notices. The problem is with most fraudsters, which is essentially what this is they can be stupid. I used to work in the bank, and people would do fraud where they'd have money deposit into account, and the reason they got caught is because they took it all out too quickly. What was really crazy is if they took it out slowly, the bank would never have noticed. But if you suddenly deposit 20 grand in your bank account today, and then go to a local branch and withdraw it, and then the next day another 10 grand comes in, you go and withdraw it, it gets picked up, it gets flagged, and you end up losing money, right? This guy's probably put through, there'll be an account somewhere that probably put a stupid amount of money on him getting booked in the 30th minute, and then he gets booked in the 30th minute. But then what they do, it flags, and then they go and watch it. Then when you watch the yellow cards back, it's like, why would you get yourself booked there? Because he's got and they look at it, and then they investigate it. They work out who's put the bet on, how much money it's for, and that's how they catch him. And look, I hope he isn't guilty. He's come out and released a statement where he's essentially said, I can read it here. He says, "I'm extremely surprised and upset the FA has decided to charge me. For 9 months, I had cooperated with every step of their investigation and provided all the information I can. I deny the charges in their entirety, and I will fight with every breath to clear my name. Due to the ongoing process, I will not be providing any further statements." So he is essentially saying that he is innocent. But listen, looking at these yellow cards that allegedly are the ones that he's been done for, they look sus. And maybe they look sus because we now know the charges are there, so you're looking at them from a different angle. But he is facing essentially a lifetime ban. If he gets a 10+ year ban, that's the rest of his career. He's done, and he's on the edge of that move as well.
Look at the time on the match on one of them. It's like the 93rd minute. The game is already done, and he gets a blatant yellow card, sticks his arm in the air for a header in the 93rd minute, and there's 3 minutes added on. If that, I know it's we're all talking about it now, so we're all thinking how sus it is. But I mean, what like at the very end of a game when it's done, you get a yellow card. I mean,
guys,
are we talking major red flags?
Terry, we're talking career done.
Sorry, Will. What was that?
No, I was saying, well, like seeing, like these like yellow cards, and then I guess now, yes, like you said, Terry, with like the charges. Okay, now it probably looks worse now, but you know how things happen during like the game. Maybe the guys were going at it, and you could have did some a bit dodgy, but like I just feel like it's always weird, like, or it's always fascinating to me how these players end up getting caught, because I'm just like, there's thousands or millions of betting accounts out there, so it's like, unless his account name was like Lucas Paqueta at gmail.com, like how are they so certain that it's him or that he profited from any of those actions?
This is the thing. It's not a court of law, so you don't need to be able to prove things beyond reasonable doubt. So, for instance, again, I can only talk about this from what we did sometimes in banking. So there was a time where a customer came in to see me, and I've been out of the bank more than 5 years now, so I can talk about it. Yes, I have. I'm just checking the dates because my NDA don't matter anymore. I'm not going to mention their names. This woman came in and she had about £35,000 taken from her accounts, and essentially the way it was done is another woman phoned up pretending to be her. So I sort of looked into it and said it was a telephone banking transaction. So I spoke to the fraud department, said we'll take it seriously, everything else, froze all her accounts, spoke to the fraud department, and one of the checks they did, and they were walking me through it, is they could see what members of staff in the bank had accessed this person's account. So they could see that I'd been in there that day when she came in, and it showed 4 or 5 other members. It showed the woman that handled the phone call. 5 days before that, some random branch in Manchester located her account and went to what they call the housekeeping print, which has all your personal details on it. And they printed the housekeeping print. So they had the member of that staff, they had that staff member's details as an example. Then they went and found where it was sent to. They found the name of the person it was sent to. They then went onto Facebook and saw that there was a mutual friend. They found this person's name, and then they found other people, and eventually they connected through Facebook the member of staff and the person that it was connected to. And and that was quite a simplistic one. The problem is with a lot of people is they don't think about these things. So although you'd think, how do they find him? It could literally be this name of a person. They search that person's name, and they follow each other on Instagram. So sometimes you don't need cast iron proof. You can go, look, this betting account has put all this money in, put this really obscure bet on 4 times in a month. And each time it's happened exactly as I expected. I mean, we've all put bets on. You go, I'm going to bet on the next team to score. You have no idea if it's going to happen. It's a bet. It's a little bit of you're pissing in the wind. Imagine putting 3 or 4 massive bets on for a player to get booked in exact minutes. It always happens.
One of them was apparently 75 grand.
You win loads of money. And then on top of winning loads of money, they check who you are, and it turns out you're friends with this footballer on Instagram. Like, you're going to look at it and go, there's something dodgy going on here. Like, that's how these things are done, essentially. But
isn't that how
an NBA player that just got banned for life?
Yeah, he's a Toronto Raptors
family to bet on him.
He's finished, man. Porter, he's an idiot. By the way, his career is ruined. His career is done if he gets caught guilty. Yeah, so yeah. They must have something on him. There's no way you're doing this as a professional footballer. You know the consequence.
I just don't get why you do it. Like, you're earning millions.
They have to have something on you.
Yeah, like, why? If you are, sorry to cut you off, Gary. If you're Paqueta and you're earning, I don't know, he's got to be earning north of 100 grand a week. He's one of West Ham's better players.
It must be blackmail, bro.
You got the upcoming Copa America, right? Like, what are you? Like, why? Like, if you were like 38 at the very end of your career, and you wanted to make a quick buck, you could kind of, to a degree, see it, but not where you're, what, is he 25, 26? It's madness. It's like Tonali. Tonali got a year ban, didn't he? But that was on actual betting on Milan. But I don't think he'll ever play professional football again at a big team. I think he's absolutely finished, if it's true.
Kerry, if you're right, not only is his career ruined, they literally you'll never see this guy kick a ball again. Because not only will he be banned from playing for the next 20, 30 years, nobody would want to be associated with him. So you're not going to see him
West Ham
against nothing.
Well, West Ham have just brought Lopetegui in, who's announced today. If they plan on selling him to bring in, like, to give him some sort of rebuild, I mean, like Kudus isn't going to go now, because like they can't afford to get rid of Kudus or, I mean, Bowen, because now Paqueta's gone. So like it puts them right, like spanner in the works.
Mm.
Yeah, West Ham.
Yeah, look,
I
if
never
I was
even
an
thought
Arsenal
about it.
fan, I will go and create a betting account underneath, like either like Pep Guardiola at Gmail, and I'll just start placing mad bets. Get them investigated, you know. Just telling you guys.
No, I hear you on that. It's genuinely correct. I don't like seeing it. It's a little upsetting, really, if we're being honest, because you know he's a very talented football player. I hope that. See, this is one of those interesting ones. I'm not an expert on it. This doesn't feel like a gambling addiction because of it's spot fixing. It's different. But Ivan Toney's like, it's almost sort of, I love the buzz of sticking loads of money on me and my team to win and perform. You get kind of a buzz out of it, and there's an addiction maybe to that buzz. But there's no buzz in this. There's no addiction to this because anyone can do it if you're playing in the game. Theoretically, you're winning. It's like cheating on a computer game. If you cheat on a computer game, you must get no satisfaction from winning. This is essentially cheating to make money. That I don't see how that's an addiction. It's not a gambling addiction. It doesn't sound like one to me. I'd love to hear from an expert on that. But yeah, he looks done out here.